everyone. Happy April from Washington Green Schools. I am Lee and I'm the outreach coordinator here.
And I'm Nair, I'm the program manager.
So every month with office hours, we tackle most asked questions that teachers and Green Team leaders ask. So this month, as we're approaching the end of the school year, we're going to focus on the report card. As you know, there are 6 environmental categories, and each category has a report card that is tailored to that specific environmental category. However, they all follow the same 6 basic steps. So we're just going to give a brief overview today of those 6 steps and what information we really want to know for each of them that can make your report card and your certification project really stand out. Should we dive in?
Yeah, let's do step 1.
Okay, so step 1 is build your Green Team. Every category has this, and this is really an opportunity for you to set the stage about what your Green Team looks like in your school. So when you're describing who your Green Team is, think beyond just the Green Team leader and the students. You know, do you involve the custodial staff, the lunchroom staff? Do you have administrators or parent volunteers on board? Do you even have external partners in the community who are involved? This is really your opportunity to call out how you've engaged your entire school in this effort. And also when you're describing your goal for the year, think beyond just the Green Team's goal. So think beyond, we want to get certified this year. Instead, focus on how you want to create a lasting change in your school and how to build this culture of sustainability.
Absolutely. All right. So I'll take over question number 2, and this is the assessment piece. Each of the environmental categories will have different questions regarding that category, so different types of qualitative and quantitative questions that we'll be asking. And so my hint for you is to make sure that you keep your units correct. A lot of the times, if the number is a little off, it's usually because the unit is off. And so if it's for waste, make sure you've got the right unit, whether that's cubic feet or gallons. Same with water and energy. They have very specific units, and in the instructions, it'll tell you what we're looking for. And also make sure that you calculate those numbers per student for your school. Sometimes we get a really large number, and that indicates to me that that's probably for the entire school for the month. If you can break that down by student, that's the number that we're looking for. And of course, this data is available to you through your utility bills. You can also reach out to your custodial staff or someone in your main office that's handling the accounts and paying those bills. They should have that information for you. Again, you can always reach out to us if you have any questions, but normally that data can be found on your utility bills online, at your main office, or even some staff on the ground.
And one thing just worth noting too is that if your district has a resource conservation team or a resource conservation manager, they're an invaluable resource. And if you're having trouble figuring out whether your district has a resource conservation team, you can always ask us and we'll connect you.
Yeah. So just make sure you're really diligent with this assessment section. This is the baseline for your entire project. So you want to make sure you know where you're at so you can figure out where you're going.
Yeah, very true. Okay, so step 3 is make a lasting change. You'll notice that on the report card, question-wise, this is the shortest section. There are only 2 questions. However, this is really your opportunity to create a narrative about what your school has done to achieve a lasting change. So, really dive into the details. Tell us who is involved in what they did. Tell us where your successes were, where your challenges were. We definitely want to know where things maybe didn't work out and why, and ideas for how you can make an improvement down the road. Also, we really want to know how kids were involved in this. So, while we're very interested in the broad overview of what project you worked on, we want to know about opportunities that kids took to be leaders in their school community. We also even want to know individual stories. Were there a couple of kids who really took this project to heart and really made a difference or were really impacted by it? Share their story as well. This is a great section to get your students involved in. Ask them, take a little interview during your Green Team meetings or during class time, and ask them where they think they made the biggest impact and how they changed their school for the better.
It's all about the kids.
Yeah.
All right, for step number 4, it's your verification process. So just like I mentioned before with the assessment piece, it's all about the data and those qualitative pieces that capture your story and your journey. I wanted to mention that you also have a supplement for each of the report cards, and those have aids for you to be able to convert your units and some audits so you can get a sense of the school and where you're at right now with that environmental category. So again, make sure your numbers make sense, the units line up so that we can compare where you were and now where you're at. And that helps us certify your school. If you find that your numbers have gone up or down in a way that you weren't expecting, tell us why. Sometimes we see schools that have done great work with trying to reduce their energy use, but somehow their numbers show that they've used more energy after a few months. Why is that? For example, we had a school once that had an amazing energy plan implemented. They were turning off lights, they were bringing their utility bills down, but at the very end, when they went to verify, their numbers were up. Well, we found out through the report card that the school had implemented a 20 computer lab, and so that had changed their numbers. So their impact wasn't visible just through that quantitative piece, but because they told us their story and they told us what was going on, we were still able to go ahead and certify them because we knew that they had made a change after all.
Exactly. I think it's just an opportunity also to, if you see that those numbers have gone up or if you feel like you've been doing a ton of great work, but you're really not seeing that reflected in the data, it's a great opportunity to think about why that's happening and to tell us why you think it's happening. You know, we just want to know that people are thinking critically about the impact that they're making in school and also to think about, you know, why that impact is either showing up in their data or really isn't.
Yeah. And sometimes it might take a couple of years for that data to show up. So as long as you're on the right path, we're happy to see that and certify you.
Exactly. So step 5 is share your story. I'm biased, but it is my favorite section because I think it's so important to make sure that you're sharing your important work with the entire school community. You know, we don't think of a school as just staff and students. We think of it as staff, students, parents, neighbors, volunteers, community partners. And so we want to make sure that they all know what you're doing. So not only they can support you and celebrate you, but also so they can be involved. That's all kind of this greater goal towards creating this culture of sustainability throughout Washington state. And kids can really be the leaders in that effort. So in this section, and it's something to really just think about throughout your project, is how can you share what you're doing and keep your community engaged and involved and aware. I'd also ask that you make sure to fill out the section where we ask you to give the name of your local paper and a brief synthesis of how your green team made a change, and ask some green team kids for quotes on, you know, why they think this is important and why it made a difference, because we would love to create a press release or a blurb so that we can share it both with our statewide network and with local news outlets in your area.
Well, that leads us to what I feel is like the easiest step. Step 6 is just turning in your certification. And so whether you filled it out as a PDF and you'd like to send that to us, or click on the online version of our report card and just have it automatically sent to us, we'll read through it, we'll certify you, and we'll follow that up with a
big celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you have any questions, you can always email or call our office. We're really here to help you and support you, and we'll be back next month with another round of office hours.
Great.
Thanks for all that you do.